What up, though? This is Knockouts and Three Counts. But before we bring you another episode of Podcast Gold, let me tell you about the homies over at Michigan's Finest. Do you ever find yourself trying to get yourself together and thinking, man, this is going to be a great night, but I'm looking for that little extra something? Well, check out our friends at Michigan Finest. If you are into medical marijuana, recreational marijuana, concentrates, vapes, anything of that sort, Michigan's Finest has got you covered. And as you can see here, it's all easily done by their website. It's all curbside, and you'll be in and out in 2 minutes. And they're family owned and operated, so customer service is their number one goal. And now, since they are rocking with Knockouts and Three Counts, use the code KO3MF. Yes, that's KO3MF. You get 10% off your entire order, but that does exclude featured items and items that are already on sale. But if you use that code, you're getting 10% off your items, and I promise you, either if you're looking for that big knockout or you're ready to hit the sheets for that 3 count, Michigan's Finest will get you together. Tell them Knockouts and 3 Counts sent you, and I promise you, you're going to be having a great night. Peace.
This is the Ring of Honor, a.k.a. Shane T, boy, the baddest champion you ever seen, boy.
This is Mr. Anderson.
This is good old JR Jim Ross, and you are listening.
You're listening to Knockouts and 3 Counts. We got a new world champion.
That might be one of the craziest knockouts I've ever seen in my life.
Knockouts and 3 Counts is the podcast dating to the real deal, baby.
Knockouts and 3 Counts starts now.
Woo! What up, though? Apparently, it is technical difficulties aplenty, but that's right. This is the KO3C awards for 2022. As long as we don't die from Snowmageddon that's apparently about to hit us here in Michigan. Right now, it's only a rain, but I'm just going to hope we're going to stay at a rain. But with that being said, I mean, dude, what a year in 2022. There's a lot of stuff to talk about on the wrestling end. And if you follow us at KO3C Pod, which you already should be doing, you already know our homie Whip from the Whip Show has come through to give his picks and his thoughts on the year of 2022. How you doing, brother, man?
Oh, man, hold up. You tried to silence me, man. That's what that is.
I did.
Yeah.
I did. That's Big Brother, not me. I was trying to help figure it out.
Oh,
The
shit.
voice of the voiceless is here. Yes, that's it. Whip Dog from the Wrestling Heroes and Insiders podcast going to bless these year-end awards.
They can't silence you, dog. They can't silence you.
Factuals, man. Factuals.
They can't silence you.
J-Bone, how you feeling? How you feeling about the year of 2022, bro?
Man, what a year it's been, right? A lot of shit, a lot of stuff going on, lots to talk about, man. I'm curious to see if we're all on the same page when it comes to wrestling, though. I got a feeling a lot of these awards are going to go to the same people. If we're watching the same wrestling, that's going to remain to be seen. So
I don't know. I see mine after 11 o'clock. It's a triple X. Never mind. Come on. Let's go.
Well, since you're the guest here, sir, I will let you pick the first category of 2022. And I mean, what were some of your highlights of the year of 2022?
Well, man, since you want to talk, let me start off, and I thank you for that. As I was reading the categories, the one I want to start off with is the shocking moment, and I could give this the shocking moment / return of the year, and it's got to go to Cody Rhodes, dog. Cody Rhodes jumping ship from something that he pretty much started. I know, yes, the Elite, the Young Bucks were the originators of AEW, and he kind of come on later on. But, man, for him to jump ship, go back to WWE after all the stuff that he said about pretty much never going back there and then doing it on the grandest stage of them all, WrestleMania, to me, that was the moment. That was it.
huge.
Can't be mad at that. Ring the bell. I was there. With that being said, J-Bone, what about you?
I'm the worst
you got
bell holder
for
ever.
moment of the year?
I got to be the
You
worst.
really
bell
are,
holder.
damn it. What is it? We have like the worst bell ringing skills on this fucking show. We've only been doing it 5 years, and we can't figure out how to hit a button or ring a bell or hit the button on the bell. Son of a bitch.
Or even have the bell, for that matter, even have the bell in my presence. It's just not a thing. Whatever.
That would be a good thing, too.
Man, so shocking moment of the year, dude. There's been so many, but I'd have to say it all goes into one for me. But Vince leaving WWE, stepping down as the chairman, along with Triple H taking over creative, that was a pretty big deal, man. It's definitely changed the narrative of WWE and the way things have been going to a plus positive, if you ask me. But that's just something. Yeah, it's never something you never think you'd see. It's like the meteor coming back, and hitting Earth again. It's just like that ain't ever gonna happen. It happened, and Vince is gone, dude. It's pretty wild.
Bro, you're not wrong. And once again, fuck you because you stole the one that I was going to use. But with that being said, I have to say, shocking moment of the year was Vince leaving wrestling.
Yeah.
I did not think that was going to happen short of him just saying, you know what, I'm too old for this shit. But I mean, for it to go down the way it did, it couldn't have been much more Vince fashion, for it to be like a big thing on the way out. And what's wild is the timing of it couldn't have been any more crazy, being the fact that it was just rumored that he said he felt like he was given bad advice, and then ended up, as soon as they said that, here comes another allegation. So that was going to be the one that I was going to go with as far as the shocking moment of the year. All right, since he went with shocking moment of the year, we will next, or at least I will pick next. We'll go wrestler of the year. Let me see, who did I have picked? And since I picked the category, I will go first. In the female end of things, I feel like Roxanne Perez has to be the wrestler of the year. When you think about the fact that in 1 year she was Ring of Honor champion, she was NXT champion, and she wrestled in Impact as well, all in 1 year. That's a hell of a year, and for her to be doing that young, and then to come into NXT and then win the championship like that, I feel like Roxanne Perez definitely had the bull by the horns. As far as male wrestler of the year, it's tough because do you judge this by like wins and losses and the matches somebody has? Because if you do it by that, then you have a hard time when it comes to somebody like Roman Reigns because he's not on TV as much. If you talk about dominance and title reign, I mean, obviously there's nobody in wrestling right now that you can say is any hotter than him. But when I think about the overall, I feel like Roman Reigns has got to have superstar of the year on that one. And if I wasn't going with him, it would have been Jon Moxley. But whichever one of y'all wants to go next, the floor is yours, gentlemen.
Me?
Go ahead, Jay.
All right. So far we're watching the same wrestling, Kyle. Roman's got to take it, man. There ain't a hotter star in the business right now. If you ask me, what's piquing the interest in the wrestling world right now? It is Roman Reigns, and he is, without argument, I don't care what anybody says, argument invalid. He is having the best WWE title run that we've seen and that we're gonna see for the next who knows how many fucking years, man. This title run he's on, the streak he's on, the guys that he's beaten, it's legendary, dude. And we're never going to see anything like it again. So that's my superstar of the year. On the female side, this one was a little shaky for me. I had a couple I wanted to throw in there, but if I'm going to pick one, I'm going to say Rhea Ripley. Because she has definitely...
We were late too, Brock. Hey, yo.
What up, Brock? She re-sparked my interest in her, man. She definitely put a layer on that Judgment Day thing. And Kyle, we were talking about that earlier in the year, starting to fade out a little bit, but putting her in there with Dominic and everything, she's definitely restarted that spark for me. So I'm going to go with Rhea Ripley for female superstar of the year.
Okay. Well, I'm going to jump in right here, and you guys can go ahead and say it now. Maybe my WWE stand-em markism is coming in right here. But for the female of the year, I'm going with Bianca Belair, man. I feel that
not
she
a bad
is
pick at all.
a superstar. One thing I like about pro wrestlers is people that can not just wrestle, but can transcend this business. When you see them out, you're like, she looks like somebody. She's going to be 5 years from now. She's going to be on everybody's talk show. She's going to be in people's movies. She's going to take the business to a whole nother level. With that being said, I got to go with male of the year, and you guys both already touched on it. It's only one person. You already know what it is. It's the head of the table. It's the tribal chief. It's the leader of the island of relevancy. It is Roman Reigns. So I don't know how many years we've been all watching pro wrestling, but when for 2.5 years has one person had the title and it hasn't got old. I mean, even when you think it starts to get stale, they shift it. You know what I'm saying? To all the marks out there and said, "Oh my God, Roman Reigns, all you do is cheat. You'll never win." That means he has these marks still feeling what they're supposed to feel, what they haven't felt in wrestling for years. They want the heel champion to lose, and the people that love him will hope that man retires with the title. Let's be honest.
Hey, we love to hate him, don't we?
Exactly,
We
man.
love to hate him. The last person that I love to hate like this was Triple H.
We the
He's doing
ones,
something
baby.
right. He's doing something right, man. You got to give it to him.
Absolutely.
Hey, man, you can't be mad at the tribal chief. I mean, that run with what they're doing with the bloodline from the whole way down to Sammy Uso and the whole deal.
Legendary, man.
Like I said, you can't be mad at that. I mean, the only thing I would ask with that is, with him having such a reign, does that end up bringing in room for other people? And for those of you guys who are watching, feel free to throw in the comments whoever you might think could be an honorable mention for the wrestler of the year on that one. I've picked one. Whips picked one. J-Bone, you pick the next topic.
Let's go tag team of the year. Go a little sideways here. So for me, might not be you think it is. There's plenty of tag teams, man. And I try not to go off the basis of like winning matches, who's most interesting, all that stuff, who's having the best matches. But there is a tag team out there that really drew my attention to AEW, and it was the Acclaimed.
Wow,
It was a new tag team.
I thought about that.
Red hot, man. And in today's age in pro wrestling, it's very hard to have a newer quote unquote tag team draw your attention to a certain division. I found myself tuning in when the Acclaim are on TV specifically. That being said, man, they're having good matches. They're entertaining as hell, right? Scissor me daddy ass. It's fucking hilarious. Billy
You're
Gunn
not
being
lying.
involved. Like, dude, come on, man. You got me there.
For sure.
Loved it. That's my tag team of the year.
I definitely like that pick. Man. However, I think I was more likely to put them on my breakout stars of the year list because of what they did. But with tag teams, and like you said, there's so many great tag teams right now. I like what FTR did by holding so many belts. I would have liked if they would have gave them the belts and they actually won the AEW titles also and been going all over the country, defending them everywhere. But I know the fans are going to eat me alive for this one because I'm going to sound like a mark, but I'm going to go with them Usos, man. I was in Grand Rapids when they unified those titles. And if you could have saw the energy not only in the building, but in the streets of Grand Rapids outside the Van Andel Arena, I mean, I hadn't seen nothing like that in years. And the reason why I'm giving it to them, because you're talking about a team that's been doing it for 15 years. It's so easy to rest on your laurels or do what you've already been doing. And for them to elevate this late in their career, I mean, I got to go with them.
I love that.
It's not a bad pick, but see, if you don't pick the Usos, there's only one other team that you really can pick. And for me, again, this is where the same thing that was tougher for me when it came to Roman at this point. Don't get me wrong. I think he's the best champion in wrestling because to have a reign like that. But he hasn't wrestled as much. Neither have the Usos as much as the team that I'm going to pick. And the team that I'm going to pick is going to be FTR. FTR has to be the tag team of the year for me for the simple fact that when you say world champion, They were AAA champions, IWGP champions, Ring of Honor champions, all simultaneously, and were wrestling all over the place. See, Brock agrees with me. Tag team is FTR. Like I said, I'm not saying the Usos are a bad pick. J-Bone, I honestly thought about making Acclaimed my pick, especially having been in the building. Again, we suck at ringing bells in this bitch.
Ding ding,
But
motherfucker.
ding ding motherfucker. But yeah, I was there for that banger of a match between them and Swerve in Our Glory. Like I said, I really highly thought about them, but then the more I thought about it, the Usos, with their reign as champions, you for sure, can say, look, dude, they killed it. But again, when you talk about world champion, FTR killed it. And then when you talk about that dog collar match that they just had with the Briscoes, holy shit, dude. Like,
man,
they about killed each other, dude.
Not mad
like
at all.
that.
Not mad.
That was gnarly. And like I say, that was my reasoning for picking them. All right. I picked you picked tag team of the year. Whip, you're up. What topic do you want?
Breakout star of the year.
Okay, who do you got?
This one again, it was tough. It was tough. Like I said, I wanted to go with the Acclaimed because I mean you're talking about going from and basically what I'm saying, they went from to being superstars. Everybody in the world is scissoring me. But right now, I'm gonna say this guy because he's always had talent. You know what I'm saying? And people already loved him. But he finally realized that best way I can say it, he's better than you. MJF, breakout star of the year. MJF is finally everything that he said he is.
It's hard to argue that, man. Hard to argue that one. Oof.
All right, J-Bone, who you got?
Well, man, much like MJF, we already knew we loved him. We already knew he's a great entertainer. We already knew how good he is. My breakout star of the year is Sami Zayn. Dude is back where he needs to be in the spotlight. We always knew he needed to be here. And finally, we're getting the right Sami Zayn with layers upon layers of story for him, man. And it's just good. We all know how he is. We've all watched him come up through many different places. That's a good, genuine dude right there. And he deserves everything that he gets, man. Whether you love him or hate him, he deserves to be here. That's
you're not wrong. I mean, that's not a bad pick. I'm surprised by those picks because both of those are names that we know, that we know have already known with Sammy having his run in NXT, what he's done on the main roster. The same with MJF we've all known he's been on a trajectory to the top. But again, like you said, for him to have won the title in the way he did, getting the poker chip and then winning the belt like that, I mean, that's a hard one to argue, except my breakout star of the year is going to go to the female variety, and it's the same person who was my superstar of the year. Roxanne Perez is the breakout star of the year for me. I feel like it's hard for me to go against that because, again, for her to have her trajectory, like when you really think about it, so she went from starting in the year at Ring of Honor champion, goes to Impact, does her thing at Impact, gets her tryout, gets into WWE, and is already champion in WWE all in 1 year. So she was champion for 2 out of 3 companies in 1 calendar year. And to be doing that at such a young age, I don't think that it's too far out of the realm of possibility that within 2023, if not by 2024, we will see Roxanne Perez going after gold on the main roster as well. This is my thoughts. Brock chiming in. He says Ricochet. He's been under the radar for too long.
Another guy
needs more main event matches.
Hey, you want to know my runner-up, dude? I kind of wanted to slap myself for this, but at least want to get it out there. Maybe you can make a snippet and you can make fun of me later. My runner-up was Logan Paul.
Wow. I'm not mad at that, though, bro. I'm not mad at that.
I only say that because I talk a lot of shit about those guys. Can't argue the athleticism. Great entertainers. They're doing well. I appreciate everything they're doing. Mad respect for what they've done. Both of them, to be honest. I'll eat my words right here, right now. They have done very well.
I can't be mad at that because, I mean, me and Devin, when we were sitting there at AT&T Stadium, literally looked at each other and were like, dude, that guy really wasn't that bad.
That dude can go, man.
The only thing I was mad at was that he got up from the skull crushing finale like before Miz even like got to the fucking ramp.
Yeah. I'm hoping to see more from him. I'm really hoping he's a surprise entrant in the Rumble this year. That'd be sweet.
See, but don't he says what about Nikita for breakout star? But only Nikita, I mean, popularity wise, sure, but like she was hurt too much for me.
Yeah.
For her to win that. All right. I'll pick I will pick a topic. All right. Return of the year. Now, this one was one that I really struggled with because it was really kind of between two that were on the same show. But for me, I mean, and again, any of you who know me, all you got to do is look at my arm. But I feel like the return of the year for me has to be Stone Cold, bro. It's got to be Stone Cold. Like, we didn't know we were getting him at all.
Yeah.
After 19 years, the guy comes back, and I even said that I thought it'd be a match, and no way in hell did I think it was going to be a 15-minute match where they fought all around the arena like they did either. So, for me, it's got to be Stone Cold. Brock in the comments, yes, that would have been my choice. If it wasn't Stone Cold, it would have had to have been Cody coming back to WWE the way he did. But for me, comeback of the year has got to be the Texas Rattlesnake. Stone Cold. Stone Cold.
Big deal.
I cannot deny you. Listen, I actually said earlier, Cody, but damn, you're right. I gotta flip that. I gotta flip it. You're right. It was Stone Cold. 19 years off, man, and then to come back and do what he did. Come on,
that
man.
crowd was hot, dude.
And he gave us 2 nights.
Mm-hmm.
He gave us 2 nights from a broken neck thinking we would never see Stone Cold again. So you're right, man. I'm going with the Rattlesnake too.
Stone Cold in the Rumble. I'm saying it. I want it now.
Oh, imagine that pop, huh?
Hell yeah. And it's in San Antonio. Come on, man.
Now I gotta ask you this. Are we doing this too early? Because we know somebody else is returning on the 30th. Yeah. Will that return mean anything to you to change your belief, your pick?
No, because I still feel like Stone Cold and Cody, because I don't think anybody, I mean, yeah, there was rumors, but I don't think anybody really expected him to show up, much less show up at WrestleMania. And still, Stone Cold coming back after 19 years and saying he was never going to get in the ring again and having a match and a little bit of bias because I was there. It's got to be Stone Cold.
Ding, motherfucker.
Ring, ding, 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 a ding. There you go. But yeah, I don't know. For me, it has to be Stone Cold.
Since you guys both picked that, I mean, that was I got 3 here, but it's hard to argue that. It's really hard to argue that. How do you even argue that? It's the greatest superstar of all time. But
it's why they pay me the big bucks. They just haven't found their way to my bank account yet.
I'm gonna take a right here, man. I'm gonna say my return of the year was Bray Wyatt with the
that's not a bad pick at all.
With the way we were intrigued as a collective community of wrestling fans, we were so intrigued and on the same path, chasing this white rabbit in such a unique way and finding these codes and these QR codes. It was just a new way to be curious about wrestling. You know what I mean? And never, and until that exact night that he showed up, did we know for sure that it was Bray Wyatt. And if you can keep us interested, especially as an adult core wrestling base, if you can keep us interested that long and make us watch something which was not even a major pay-per-view, Extreme Rules isn't part of the Big Four. You got everybody watching Extreme Rules, and the payoff for it was incredible because watching that over and over and over and over again, bro, you get goosebumps, and the man never even stepped in the ring. A huge moment, if you ask me.
I can't argue that, man. And shout out to past guests of the show. Ryan McKinnell and Dave LaGreca. I was listening to Dave LaGreca say that he wasn't really feeling Bray's return so far, but man, I feel like now that Uncle Howdy has now, reared his head and shown that it's another person other than Bray, I feel like things might have just got turned up. So we'll see what happens. I don't know how I feel about Alexa, them doing the thing with him and Alexa, but we'll see what happens. Yeah. What are your guys' thoughts on Bray, and what are your thoughts on him for comeback of the year? J-Bone, what topic do you want next?
Here we go. We got to get this one. This one's gonna gain some good attention or bad attention, if you ask me. But Indie Wrestler of the Year.
Now, see, y'all got an unfair advantage on this one because y'all go to like every indie show in the world.
Not true, sir. You're a commentator on an indie show. Don't let him lie to you.
Like every.
I just said shout out to your commentary partner. He just came into my post office the other day.
Oh, word. Sly Scavone, what's going on, my guy?
He was talking about, he goes, yeah, I'm a wrestling commentator, blah, 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 because we were talking about the show. I was like, yeah, I know. And I was like, yeah, I almost made an appearance up in that joint too. Maybe I will one of these days. But yeah, man, shout out to him. But all right, man, you said who you got for that one?
Man, so like this is another one, Kyle. I know we talk about it a lot. There's so many layers to indie wrestling, man, especially around our way. But the thing that I try to base it off the most, who's more active, who's the most active, and who keeps us intrigued the most via social media. And there's one name that pops up all the time, and it's probably because of the area that we're in. But for me, it's Tommy Vendetta. The guy's everywhere. You see his name on just about everything, and he is in very important matches, man. Death match after death match after death match, and highly entertaining every single time. He was in GCW. You remember the bump in GCW he took. Gnarly shit right there. Incredible performer, man. And he ain't done, dude. It's only going to get better for Tommy. So that's my indie wrestler of the year.
Not mad at that pick. Neither would past guest of the show, Darren McCarty, man. But Whip, who you got? Indie wrestler of the year. Who would it be for you?
Because I'm a little bit more old school than you guys, and I work with this guy. I've seen him make it to the pinnacle. But it's a tie for me for two guys. And it's not because they are social media darlings on the internet, but to me, actually seeing these guys in person, working side by side with them, I think they're two of the most talented guys, and I don't know why they're not signed already. But one of them is the Fro-Gun D-Ray 3000, former Impact Wrestling superstar.
Past guest of the show.
Fro-Gun, man.
Fro-Gun is amazing. I've known Fro-Gun since the day he started in training at Thunder Zone Wrestling. I was right there with him. Fro-Gun, and a guy that's unsung, but I'm telling you, he is on the radar, and if he does not get signed in 23, it is a travesty. There's a young man named AVZ. Alexander Van Zant is awesome. The boy can talk, the boy has a good gimmick, and the boy can work. I'm telling you now, those are my two. So I don't want to pick either one. I'm doing with co-winners.
No, there we go. That's a safe pick.
So my pick's going to piss some people off.
Hoodfoot.
Now you sound like Devin. Devin has been like enamored with this guy's name since the day he ever heard of it. He literally walks around and says it just like that. Hoodfoot. What is a hoodfoot? Like, and it just cracks me up. And then we saw him just like absolutely just mangle motherfuckers in Texas at WrestleMania weekend, and he was made a fan. J-Bone, a birdie told me that he might be entering the fray for the Royal Rumble.
Oh yeah, let's go.
Devin says he wants a crack at the motherfucking belt. But that bitch is staying here, damn it.
Bring that cash. We'll make it happen, dude.
The money and the belt is coming my way. Whip, if you want some, you can come get some, but I'm taking your bread.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Just saying, I came to J-Bone's spot, drove my ass all the way to Pontiac, and then took his money. But J-Bone won the other
We
belt.
kind
so
of split it. We took everybody else's money. KOC.
You never heard? You never heard of Cash App? Damn.
He's not wrong. We really kind of just split everybody else's money.
Really
But I
did.
took the rest of everybody's
really
money.
Really
it was all good.
I need to bring that belt out here.
you ain't wrong, dude. So what was the category again? One more time.
Indie Wrestler of the Year.
Okay, Indie Wrestler of the Year. My pick is definitely going to piss some people off, and here's why. Technically, he's not what you would think of when you think of a indie wrestler. But when you think of somebody who's an indie wrestler, that's somebody who's not signed by a major company. And to my knowledge, he hasn't been signed by anybody. And when you think of the things that he did, Matt Cardona, dude, is like Matt Cardona is making noise. Doesn't matter how big a show it is. And I mean, I know that sounds that wouldn't be like I don't know if he counts as an indie star again with it being NWA and things like that.
Yeah.
But like I say, man, when you talk about making an impact, but if that disqualifies him, if you want to say that he's disqualified, then my number two pick would have been Nick Wayne.
Ooh, yeah. I like that.
I don't know. That's where I am going for Indie Wrestler of the Year. Whip.
Yes.
It is now your pick, sir.
Now, I believe we have two left, correct? Believe we have.
You got Match of the Year. You got Brand of the Year.
Okay, we got. Okay.
Yeah, I think we got two, right?
And you got Storyline of the Year as well.
I want to leave. I want to leave Brand of the Year for the last one.
Okay.
So I want to go with Storyline of the Year, and this one is a bit tough for me, man. Because do we just say one that has a beginning and an end, or one that's continuous? Because if we're going
continuous works fine,
then I'm going flat out with everything that the Bloodline has done. I just do not see how you can pick anything else. It has so many hills and valleys. It has sparked smaller storylines in between. It has made people. I don't know how you could pick anything else besides that.
My next.
I can't be mad at that. Go ahead, J-Bone.
Hey, like I said, we're watching the same wrestling, dude. How can you not? It's the best storyline in wrestling from the very beginning of was it Jay versus Roman, from the very start of this thing, man. What now? 2.5 years, right? Something like that, 2 years. And here we are. It's just getting better.
And think about the reign that the Usos have had because of that too. And in there, you had Solo get the North American title in NXT too.
Sami Zayn is now a huge, huge value to that story. Kevin Owens, the whole idea of The Rock potentially coming in there. Just there's so many layers, and we've done so much in this long time. I can't remember a storyline that's lasted this long, along with the legendary reign for the titles, for not only the tag team titles and the Universal title and the WWE title. It's something that we're never going to see again.
I mean, people are getting elevated to a level that even the NWO couldn't do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The NWO had a lot of people in there, and we still only cared about Hogan, Hall, and Nash.
Exactly.
Everybody a part of the Bloodline is very efficient of making that whole machine work.
Very important. Everybody, even Paul Heyman, every single person matters.
Well, let me ask you this, Whip, since you are so high on the Bloodline, what do you think? Do you think Solo's going to get tired of Sammy's shit or somebody's shit and break things up?
Absolutely not. I'm going to tell you who the switcher is. It's going to be who's a surprise. It's not going to be Jay. It's going to be Jimmy. I think Jimmy is the one that's going to really out of nowhere. Because keep in mind, what do we call Jay? Jay's tag is the main event Jay Uso. Yes, all we say about Jimmy is everybody loves Jimmy. I think they're going to do somewhere along the line where Jimmy comes back like, yo, I'm that guy. So don't be surprised if Jimmy is the one that does something. And if that's not it, then it'll be Sami Zayn, who just kind of finally figures out, once he works his way to really being best friends with Roman, to trick him, and then he goes on another route. Him and Kevin Owens, tag team champions.
Something's gonna happen. It's gonna break the hearts of the universe, man. I'm telling you. Once this
Oh
thing
yeah.
implodes, it implodes. It's
And do
gonna be
you
a bad day.
understand? And right now, us as grown men, do you understand? We know what's going to happen. It's got to happen. But there's going to be real emotion
Yeah.
out of each and every last one of us when whatever happens, happens.
Yeah.
Whether it happens New Year's Day, whether it happens in July next year, if it happens in Mania in April. Think about this. When Seth Rollins hit Roman back in the day with the Shield, grown men reacted. Am I telling the truth?
Facts.
So
Facts.
the same thing is going to happen. You know it's got to happen. You know it's going to happen. But you're like, damn, when it does, you're still going to be like, shit.
You're not wrong, and I apparently am following the trend, apparently like Matt Taven told me to, because I definitely am putting all the stock on the bloodline and that storyline being number one. It's kind of hard for it not to be. A close number two, though, for me would be what I've seen with the Blackpool Combat Club. Even though I think it got cut quicker than I would have liked it to. Bro, the way that Regal went out with the brass knuckles to the back of the neck and went out like that, and then to have the promo pre-taped like that, like that shit was genius too. So if I'm not going the bloodline, which that is my pick, that would be a close number two.
My only problem with the Blackpool Combat Club is this. I don't think they're together enough for me. Like sometimes they're always, sometimes they're together, and sometimes they might go weeks without even mentioning each other. Moxley, obviously, I know Moxley doesn't need help. He's doing his own thing. But, sometimes Daniel Bryan's not even out there with him, or they don't even interact on the same show. I would like them to cross paths just a little bit more. Like I know with the MJF Moxley thing, Moxley wanted to stand on his own. But where the hell would have Daniel Bryan been when he saw his boy get hit like that? Seems like there would have been some type of reaction that night, not waiting until a week later and trying to stand up to Moxley.
Well, remember, brother, it's a storyline. They said he was at the hospital with him. Come on.
More of an affiliation than a faction, though. I see what you mean, though. I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
I mean, they've been wearing the Blackpool Combat stuff more, but I agree with you on that. Like I said, for me, my pick is the Bloodline storyline.
We're all watching wrestling. It's a good thing.
J-Bone, what is the next topic, sir?
Well, we got two left. I know Whip wanted to keep the brand for the last one, so we'll go match of the year right here, man. So this is another one, dude. How do you even pick, right? There's so many great wrestling matches throughout 2022. There's stuff back in January that I was like, I didn't think about it. That was in January. You know what I mean? It's been so long. And Kyle, we've been to a few that are on my list, man. But if I got to pick one, absolutely one that sticks out from storyline to return to everything, it's Cody versus Seth in the Hell in a Cell match, man.
Yeah.
With the torn pec and the drama behind it all and just everything that went around that feud to culminate at Hell in a Cell, man. And it turned out to be a great match. Not to mention Cody with one freaking pec. Like, dude was damaged, visibly damaged, and went out there and put on a hell of a match. So that's my match of the year.
I am in total agreement with that. It's funny, when we got off the air for the behind the scenes to the fans, when the microphone wasn't working, I turned my phone on, and the first thing I saw for some reason was a WWE reel of Cody Rhodes versus Seth Rollins at Hell in a Cell. I mean, and don't get it twisted. AEW has had so many great matches, but that one right there just sticks in my head like, bam, that was it. That was it.
Okay, so here's the thing. Cody versus Seth was going to be one of my picks, except not the one at Hell in a Cell. I actually thought the match at WrestleMania was better than that one. But with that being said, I am going to go a different route as far as my match of the year. And for me, it was a two-way tie because that's the hard part with picking like the match of the year at the end of the year, because there's so much shit that you have to go through to like really make an accurate pick.
Oh, man, dude.
But for me, I have one that was a little bit of time ago and one that was more recent. Sheamus versus Gunther.
Mm.
Sheamus versus Gunther, and recency bias may be a plenty, but dude, that FTR versus Briscoe's dog collar match was fucking
Yeah.
insane.
Yeah.
That was insane.
Bloody,
dude.
man. Bloody.
You're not kidding.
Yeah,
That was absolutely insane. So those would be my picks for match of the year. What do you got, Whip?
He
Well,
already
no-
said, didn't
yeah,
Oh
yeah,
yeah, he
yeah,
was right. He
yeah.
was right. He was
Yeah.
right. My bad. My bad.
Well, let him go with the last one. We got one left, man.
Well, now it's time for that one I wanted to touch on last. I think this is the most important one, and it is brand of the year. This is a very hard one, especially now. Earlier in the year, it might have been a little bit easier to pick before a certain CEO decided to walk away from the business and a new CEO took over. But with all the ups and downs, and even being able to weather the storm of some of the backstage stuff, surprisingly enough, I'm still give it to AEW.
Mm.
I think that AEW they handled that CM Punk issue. That could have been the downfall of the company right there. Let's be honest. It could have been over. It could have been over. They were able to weather that. They were able to get MJF back, put him in place where he needs to be. I think they're still one of the most viable fan-friendly experiences in pro wrestling. I was at the show in Detroit with you guys.
Yeah.
That was my first time experiencing AEW live. And the feeling at an AEW show is like you're at a party. You know, I think you guys could agree with that. Don't get it twisted. WWE shows are still fun. They will always be what they are. But the energy of AEW, you talked about it earlier with the Acclaim. They built the Acclaim up. They're finally building up all these young guys. So I definitely have to say, even though there are definitely some stuff that needs to be worked out, some technical stuff, I'm still going to go with AEW this year. But it's a lot closer than it has been in the last couple years.
All right.
Man, you know, he throws that stuff out there. Now I'm like, oh, yeah, you know what? He's right. Because he's right. It was like a party at AEW in Detroit, man.
AEW shows are fun as hell.
That was a lot of fun, dude. Even the one out in Vegas we were at, oh, dude, incredible. It definitely is a party.
You just liked the margaritas and spandex nation.
Hey, man, what can you say, right? Who doesn't like alcohol and wrestling and 90s hair bands or whatever? Come on.
I mean, you're not wrong. I had a damn good time in Vegas myself.
Awesome time, dude.
And you got to sit there with Mox and watch me get my ass
That's
kicked.
right. That's right. Out there with the stars, baby. No, this one it was a close race for me though. But honestly, the turning point and the factor that made it all different for me was when Vince stepped down from WWE. That totally, good or bad, that really directed my eyes back to WWE because I was so curious. And as a lifelong wrestling fan, you want to know what's going to happen to something you've been watching forever. So before that point, I would have gave it to AEW, but considering what happened there and the way Triple H is taking over and the way things have kind of started to shift and turn around, I'm excited for WWE again, man. I'm excited for the big shows. I'm looking forward to Survivor Series and the Royal Rumble. And they honestly haven't done me wrong yet. So I'm going to give it to WWE at this point, man.
Man, so see, like this is one of the reasons that you coming on the show was like such a good thing because you and I are a lot alike, except the problem is I thought a lot about the same things that you did in that saying WWE maybe should have been brand of the year just for the way they were able to turn things around. But then when I sat and thought about it in the same way I said the things I did with, Roman's activity rate when it comes to like superstar of the year and things. Yes, WWE had a great close to the year. Like that was from what, August on. So after SummerSlam was like the first show that Triple H really had control of. I would say for the majority of the year, AEW has this year won. But when you ask me which product am I most excited to see kind of what happens with it at this point, it's a tie for me between WWE and AEW, but I feel like who had the better impact. I think for the way they were able to turn themselves around, I'm going to give it to WWE.
Ooh, the tiebreaker.
But I'm not going to lie though, with what he said, AEW was going to be my pick. But like I said, the thing that swayed me is the fact that the impact going out of the year. I think that they have made the bigger turnaround, but I agree with you. I think overall, AEW's won most of that year. So I'm really, honest to God, I'm really kind of torn between AEW and WWE.
And kudos to them too. I mean, we also got to take in the fact that they're still a young company, and I mean, they're making very, very big waves, very big waves.
Let's also not leave out Impact here. Like Impact has put out some really dope ass shit this year.
Yeah.
Like dude, what they just did with Eric Young, dude. Like what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like this man just got stabbed out in the interrogation room on live TV. Like Cody Deaner went like straight psycho. I don't know. Here's the thing. I think we can all agree at the very least that as we head into 2023, for the first time in a long time, I'm genuinely excited to see what can happen with wrestling, right? Like, think about it. We have in about a little more than a week's time, you have Wrestle Kingdom coming up. Now, it's already been pretty much confirmed that Mercedes Vernado or Sasha Banks is going to be at Wrestle Kingdom. And I mean, you ain't going to just have her at Wrestle Kingdom and she doesn't show up or do something.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we're going to start
we're a long way there to not do anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we're going to start 2023 off with a bang, and she's sure been doing a hell of a lot of training to not be doing nothing. And I mean, that's why everybody's like, oh, she's done with WWE for now. She could do this and then come back there. She could have told them, look, I want to do Wrestle Kingdom, and then, we'll revisit this down the line.
Understand, people, they act like it just started today, but the forbidden door has been open a lot longer than people want to talk about. It didn't just start with Mickey James. It didn't just start, listen, the WWE, all promotions were always open. It just had to make sense to them. Don't be surprised. I mean, at one point they were talking about Sheamus Shinsuke might have been at Wrestle Kingdom. You know what I'm saying?
Well, Shinsuke is going to wrestle against the Great Muta and Noah.
Yeah. So it is. See what I'm saying? So the forbidden door is open. There's definitely a possibility.
And let's not forget, for those of you who listen to Something to Wrestle With and listen to past guests of the show, it's right behind me. You put the salad and the chicken, the second most recognizable athlete in the world next to Muhammad Ali. Get you a mortgage from Conrad and them over there on Something to Wrestle With. But while we're talking about mortgages, get your taxes together. Check out our sponsors, Knockouts and 3 Counts. Yeah, we're sponsoring ourselves in this bitch. I meant to say Z3 payroll and tax. Jack will get you together. Tell him Knockouts and 3 Counts set you seriously. He made getting my taxes done last year the easiest time I've had with that shit, short of doing TurboTax. So seriously, check him out. Let him know that we sent you, and you'll get $25 off for anybody you refer to him as well. So, like I said, it's time for money. But, yeah, dude, they've done, if you listen to that show, like I was talking about, but, I just had to use the segue. Michinoku Pro, in Japan, they've done stuff with. They've done stuff with AAA. That's how you had El Santo in the Royal Rumble and shit.
Yep.
Like, I mean, there's a lot of different examples. I mean, granted, did it happen maybe as much as some of us might have liked? But here's another. It leads to the point that I had yet again. As we go into 2023, you have somebody in Triple H who's already said he's willing and open to work with people. And I mean, look where that leaves us. I mean, can we talk about the fact that Carl Anderson is still the never open weight champion in New Japan is going to wrestle on Wrestle Kingdom?
Leave
I'm
that
just
door
saying.
open. Let's go.
Would that have happened? Would that have happened when Vince was under control? I don't know. But all I'm saying is that leaves a great prospect that you don't know. You don't know what the fuck could happen. And
Yes.
honestly, that's when wrestling is in its best place. It's when you don't know what the hell's going to happen.
Yeah.
We don't know what the hell's going to happen in 2023. All I know is that my ass is going to be in LA for WrestleMania. So, Rock, if you're listening to this, that would be a great time for you to make a return, just so that I could say that I saw your last match and Stone Cold's last match. But I'm just saying. But that being said, I'm looking forward to 2023. What are y'all boys' thoughts on 2023? Because I would say the biggest story, like I said, was the Vince thing. But if it wasn't, that CM Punk thing was kind of crazy too. So,
That reminds me. Did you guys hear? Speaking of CM Punk,
what did I hear?
he will be talking. It's gonna kind of now. If you remember, many years ago, his podcast with Colt Cabana, right?
Yeah.
Around what, like Thanksgiving or towards the end of the year, then, right?
Believe so.
Well, Kyle? Who did you say was your tag team of the year?
FTR.
Dax, his new podcast, 1229. His first guest, he announced it today. It's CM Punk.
Wow, that
Let's
should be
fucking
interesting.
go. Hell yeah.
Dax is trying to get all the downloads off the rip. I see what you did there, sir.
Hey.
And I'm not mad at it.
And
Ain't mad at it.
he made a statement today, and the boy is good with his teasers. He also made a statement today saying something like, "Man, I can't wait to wrestle Cody again, hopefully sooner than later." So you take that. We're putting CM Punk. The boy is smart. The boy is smart about his promo. That quick, man.
Oh boy. Hey, and it's peak interest time for WWE as well, because it's Rumble season, man. And if the rumor mill doesn't spill over any other time, it's Rumble season. The rumors are going to go wild in January. We all know that.
CM Punk will just say one word about the Royal Rumble. He can say it in jest, and it'll have the rumors going crazy, man.
Do you really think they'd take him back in WWE at this point? Not take him back necessarily. Well, take him back, I guess, is the right word. Because after what happened with AEW and the way they left there, do you really think they'd want to touch that one?
I would say, because we've learned over the years in wrestling, never say never. I think they would bring him.
This close to it, though?
I think they would bring him back for like a one shot. I don't think they would contract the man ever again in a major pro wrestling, at least not for the next couple of years. I don't think they would give him a full-fledged contract. But I definitely think him coming back for a one shot, like a Royal Rumble, to get that pop, then have him come on Raw the next day, thank everybody, you know what I'm saying, and then go on about his life.
That's all that counts, right? You want that big pop, that one thing that's going to get you 1 million views or 1 million.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If there's any rumor of CM Punk even hinting being in the Royal Rumble, all eyes will be on that match, dude. Even if it doesn't happen, we all know we're going to be locked in, even if it's just a rumor. You know what I mean? And if it does happen, the YouTube feeds, the shorts, everything, millions and millions. That's what matters to them. But like you said, if I were running the organization, I wouldn't contract him. No, hell no. But would I pay him a good amount of money to come in and get a great crowd reaction?
Yeah.
Sure. One night, I'm with it.
Even if you gave him one of those short Goldberg deals from Royal Rumble January to WrestleMania March, you know what I'm saying? Let him do Royal Rumble. He gets thrown out. Something happens. He gets a match in Mania. Okay, we gave him $2 million. Now he's on his way. But you also have to deal with his backstage BS messing up the company.
See, here's the thing, though. I feel like now that we've seen that Punk actually would sign another contract for like a long-term type thing, I feel like if they actually went that route, they would like want to get him for, an extended amount of time. So at least they felt like they could get their worth out of it. So I don't know that I could see him necessarily coming in for like a short run. I mean, it would be cool to see him come back there, but I don't know. It's still so up in the air to see.
It's a mix of money and pride for him, dude. That guy is so high on his pride, man. He may just flip him the bird and say, "You're right." You know what I mean? We don't know.
Well, I
But
mean,
I
it's
just
not like he's still not doing things too, because he's still doing the
yeah.
commentary for CFFC too.
Mhm.
That's
Yeah.
another reason why I think he wouldn't want a long-term contract, so he can do other things.
Yeah.
I just don't think his attitude meshes well with the current stars of pro wrestling.
Yeah. I agree with that.
I don't know, man. All I know is 2023 is looking bright. I mean, do you guys got any last words on 2022 and anything you're looking forward to into 2023?
This year, if you don't mind me saying this right here,
Please go
this
ahead.
year definitely reinvigorated me. I was able to go to WrestleMania in Dallas, had a ball, man. Um, I
Wale
had
Mania was the deal.
factuals, man. And I've never stopped watching pro wrestling. Always been a fan. But you go through lulls in watching
Mhm.
wrestling. You know what I mean? Where you watch it, you don't have to watch it. And I was already doing my podcast, and I still was going through lulls. But this past year really made me say, you know what? I am a fan again, like full fledged. I am following the product. I want to see what's going on current. When I first met you, Kyle, I told you I watched more old school stuff than I did the current product. If you don't even remember me telling you that, dog. But now I'm back locked in like I used to be, bro.
You're not wrong, dude. I mean, I feel like wrestling has really been reinvigorated. Hopefully we still see some improvements on some things like, he's a
Some of the
big
NXT
motherfucker.
boys. Oh,
He's a big motherfucker. He's oh, like I don't know,
Hey,
man.
somebody's got to put a delay on that mic.
That shit was
Jeez.
awesome. The fact that he kept narrating it all the way through. Like, there's still like the little quakes that you're always going to get in wrestling. I guess that's like the little things that fans like us like. But
Yeah.
I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what 2023 has to come. And man, with the way things are looking, think about that. Within a year's time of each other, we could have seen Stone Cold's last match and The Rock's last match. Although something tells me that we could see Steve Austin again at the Royal Rumble.
we'll
So
see.
I don't know. All I know is I for one am a kid that will pop for Stone Cold at 35. So that being said, Whip, the invite is open to you the same as it was to Devin. The belts ain't going nowhere, motherfucker. But Royal Rumble is a coming. J-Bone, before we get out of here, what are your last thoughts? Wrestling in 2022. Do you have any lasting thoughts? Anything that sticks out to you? And what are you looking forward to for 2023?
What a year, man. Like Whip said, you get the highs and the lows in the wrestling, man. But this year alone, what a roller coaster ride. Kyle, we've been all over the place, dude, for 2022. From AEW to GCW to WWE to Circle 6. We've done a lot of shit, man, in 2022. It's been a very blessed year. I've had a lot of fun. And hey, wrestling brings us together, man. If you're one of those toxic wrestling fans, hit the bricks, dude. This is what it's all about right here. This is three dudes right here talking about wrestling for the past hour.
And
you know what I mean? Wrestling is alive and
that's
well.
real,
So
dog. We met people.
Continue to enjoy it. That's all I got to say, man. But 2023 is going to be huge. We're going to keep going. We're going to keep it moving. And it's just going to get better.
You heard, and you can't teach that. Hit the motherfucking subscribe button. Check out our sponsors. Make sure you check out Michigan's Finest. Use that code KO3MF. And I promise you, whether you win at the Royal Rumble or not, you'll be looking all right. Or maybe you might be like the crazy fan that tried to jump in the Royal Rumble. But hey, don't do that. I promise it won't end up good for you. But with that being said, check them out. Get right with the tax, man. We got just the guy for you at G3 Payroll and Tax. You don't want IRS to come see you. I'm just saying. You heard the man say everybody's got a price. I'm just saying. Bro, I don't need it.
Good.
I don't need it. So with that being said, thank y'all for watching. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. All the buttons. Make sure you're following the Whip Show. Whip, let them know where to follow you real quick.
Check us out on all social media platforms. The Whip Show, wherever you get your podcast. Put in the Wrestling Heroes and Insiders podcast or just the Whip Show. Check out my podcast. Check out my other podcasters, Coach's Corner. You can check out Railing with Mr. Joe Walker, the Word Heavyweight Champion. Always got some great content, man.
Hey, man, get your content, get your cookies. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Kwanzaa. Do your thing. Leave your milk and cookies out. Eat them. Hit the treadmill. Fucking A. Don't fall down the stairs. Merry Christmas. You filthy animal. Peace.
All right, y'all. Take care.